I'm on the Guyandotte River today doing a little investigation. We're right above R.D. Bailey Lake on a section of river that I've paddled multiple times. I love this section of river. It's the most secluded and it's got some of the best rapids when it comes to whitewater. Yeah, there's pollution that I've known about. We know that people have sewage running into the rivers, people with old septic tanks overflown, straight pipes straight out to the river from their trailers. That's just part of living in West Virginia. Here on the bank, you can see this is sewage. This is some urine or gray water. You see the little bubbles. Whitewater creates some aeration and bubbles in the water also, but this isn't that. This is sewage. There are a few news reports I found. I'm going to link them in the bottom. I don't want to repeat their information, and they know a lot of the terms that need to be used. But basically what's going on is the DEP has said this water's fine, but then other people have had it tested and it's not. So I'm over here just taking a look, see what we can find on the river. And I don't think I'm going to be paddling the Guyandotte anymore, which breaks my heart. Absolutely breaks my heart. I found myself on this river. The white here on these rocks concerns me. I don't know what it is, but it looks similar to what I was seeing in those news articles. This rock is not in the water, and you notice that white film is not on this rock. So it's definitely something from the water creating that. And I don't think that's just water. So here's where you would pull off to go up toward the lake, here to the left. And right up around this curve is a public access. That's where we usually put in. I'm going to ride upriver and check out what's going on upstream. Here's the public access put in. There's a creek that comes in here. We're going to check out the creek and see if we see any pollution. But aside from what we see in the water damage from the coal mines, let's look what the nasty skanks in the neighborhood left behind. It's just like trash everywhere. Why is this the place you want to dump this stuff? Look, children's books, a desk. Let's take it down to the public stream access and throw it out. Part of a ceiling fan. I'm out here checking this out to see, just what I can see visible to the eye. I know a lot of that stuff. I know a lot of the stuff they're finding in the water obviously isn't visible. They noted that there's foul smells, and I did catch a whiff of sulfur down there where I was checking out the last place. But we're going to check out this little spot. I may be off base, but just the color of the dirt under there kind of looks off to me. More of the piss bubbles, more of the sewage bubbles. And I'm still catching that sulfur smell up here. Here's some more of those sewage bubbles, and you can see some of the white on that rock right there. But it's not as prevalent as it was on the rocks downstream. All right, I followed that creek up the road a little bit, and this is called Horse Creek. It's right across from that public access I was at. I don't know if the camera will show it, but this water, aside from the reflection, it just has kind of a glimmer, almost like a oily look. I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't look like clear creek water. There's definitely a film to it. All right, it's starting to rain on us. And I'm here at Indian Creek. We're about 4 miles up from where I was at the public access. So 4 miles above where I kayak at. And this creek right here is one of the ones that has a lot of the problems talked about in the news articles. So check those out. They're going to be a lot more informative and use the correct words. They're not old hillbillies. They're news reporters. So just take what you can from me. I'm up here checking out what you could see with the physical eye and just kind of processing. I'm losing a big thing here. I'm on this river at least once a week in the spring, and I've really fallen in love with some of the places that I found on this river. And I always knew it was polluted. I knew it was a bad river. We always shower and clean up when we get off the water, but when it comes to something that could cause a real illness or real disease, I got to be careful about that. My best friend Mo, who kayaks with me, he already has MS. We don't want anything, we don't want to be on rivers that's going to make him worse or give me something. That would devastate me if I dragged Mo out to go kayaking and got him into this, and then he ended up being worse because of the waters that I was putting him in. I know he ain't going to feel that way, but the thought does cross my mind. Like, what if this has made Mo worse? So, kind of sucks. And that's not even the worst. Like, my recreational kayaking is the minimal of the problems. These people can't even drink their own water. They can't even take a bath. That's pretty serious. So, take my kayaking loss as a minimal. But at the same time, our state wants to talk about recreational and tourism benefits that we could have. Our second form of revenue is tourism in this state. Number one is coal. Two is tourism. How are we going to do tourism if our rivers are polluted? If our streams are so nasty that people can't come here and fish or kayak or paddleboard? They ain't going to want to camp. You know? I don't know. Pisses me off. Makes me upset. And this is just kind of a way for me to process all of it. I followed Indian Creek up, and I found myself at Thrush Fork Road. It forked a ways back, and then I'm here. There's some kind of like processing plant or something over here. I'll get a good view of it as we drive by. But the smell of gas is just in the air here. Like, it's raining. I've heard rain can help it seep out of the air so you can smell it more. I don't know if that's what's causing it or not, but the smell of gas, like when you hook up your propane grill or unhook it, it's just prevalent in the air. You can smell it, you can taste it. And that's what they said in those news articles that was going on in people's wells and blowing them up and stuff. Methane gas in their wells. So I don't know what's going on in Wyoming County, but I don't like it. And I guarantee it's floating downstream to Logan County where I live. So I'm just trying to get this information out there because I didn't even know about it. I've been kayaking this river for 5 years. I'm back up Indian Creek, by the creek. More trash. And if you look at the water, this time of year, these streams are usually clear as could be. Some kind of algae growing here. In the winter, that seems kind of odd. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a scientist. private property sign. I'm not going to go any further than this, but look at that water. Just floating sediment of some sort. It's red. The farther I get up Indian Creek, the more you can see just something ain't right with the water. We're going to drive up just a little bit more. I've not saw any of the white stuff you see in the news articles, but I've seen plenty of this weird red sediment and just like a oily glisten in the water. I don't know if the camera's really picking this stuff up. I hope it is. And my goal is just to get it out there to kayakers that might get on the Guyandotte and take it as a heed, take it as a warning. There's something in the water. We probably don't need to be on it. There's none of that red stuff right here. And that coal mine is right up here, and the stream flows that way. So I'm interested. I'm going to ride up a little bit more, see if I see any of that red sediment or anything, or see if it starts right here. And I'm still looking for the white stuff, so let's see what we can find. On upstream a little bit, and as you can see, there's no red sediment floating, so the source has to be below here. Looks like a clean creek right there. So we haven't found it yet. So a mile down from, so right at a mile down from that mine job, road job, whatever it is, they're clearing out the mountain there, and that's when this red stuff starts in the creek. All right, I've went full circle, started at the backwaters of the R.D. Bailey Lake, and I followed it all the way to Indian Creek. We followed Indian Creek to the end of Indian Creek, and we found red sediment, and then past where we found the red sediment, we didn't find any. We've saw countless mine sites. We've saw a couple gas plant type things where they're I don't know what you call it, but they're getting natural gas. We've saw tons of litter. Now I've made it over the mountain and through the woods, and I'm back on the Guyandotte River in Pineville, West Virginia. I'm not seeing the red sediment here or anything like that, but I am seeing the sewage bubbles. See right here beside me. So, as heartbreaking as it is, I think we're going to stay off the Guyandotte for a while. Follow the news and see if things improve. Hopefully they will. Hopefully our state starts making some laws to make these companies do better. People are drinking this water. People are bathing in this water. I just kayak in it. But we do have city water in Man. And It comes through a stream where coal mines have been also. So I'm not saying it's any different where I'm at on the Guyandotte. They say, so I looked up on the internet, and the internet says the lake acts as a filtration system, and that those chemicals may not be as prevalent on my side of the lake, on the downside through Mingo and Logan counties. I don't know if I trust it. And even if I do, as soon as you come out of those spill waters, there's a mine right up on the mountain. Come around the corner from Gilbert, there's another mine right up on the mountain. And I'm not against coal mining. I want my people to have jobs. I want my brothers to have food on the plate, be able to provide a home for their children. I want that more than anything. But there's got to be a better way. We're killing ourselves. These companies come in and they strip us of everything. What they're saying in these news articles is the water is from an old closed mine that has filled up with water, and now it's spewing out, and it's bringing all these chemicals and heavy metals into our water streams. I don't know the answer, but I do know I'm freaking heartbroken. And I know some other people are too. People bathing in this, drinking it. What do we do? I don't know. We ain't gonna be kayaking on it. See you on the new, I guess. Thanks for checking it out.